overall getting used to the speed of this game and the difference of competition at this level. I think he's doing a really good job right now. I mean, obviously it's hard because even in between series, he's transitioning from guard out to tackle, and he's doing really well. Obviously, young guy, he's got a lot of potential, and I think, with continued development and, practicing, he's going to get a lot better. Sorry for getting sweat on y'all.
Aside from the obvious, like not snapping the ball, being a little bit further back, what are like the big differences going from center to guard?
I mean, it's a whole different position. I mean, the center kind of like Kels orchestrates the band. He's getting everybody on the same page and all that stuff. And, we all we all have different jobs when it comes to each position. Tackles are looking at a certain place. I'm looking at, a certain place on the defense. Kel's doing the same thing. And, I mean, really it's, center, you obviously don't have a lot of space. It's a lot quicker. Guard, you have a little more room. But, there's a lot of differences to it. I could sit here for a long time and write a list. But I don't know.
For you personally, what are you hoping to improve on during camp?
A lot of things.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Really, like run blocking, pass blocking, a lot of stuff like seeing defenses, obviously new defense coordinator, a lot of different structures and disguising stuff, just kind of trying to read that out and get any keys that we can on our defense, and it helps moving into the year. Obviously every defense is different, has different things to look at. Really a lot of things, hand placement and, relationship and, pass pro, mate blocks, like, double teams and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that, I need to polish up.
Do you feel like at this point of training camp, do you feel the competition heating up? Or has it always been there? For guys starting for starting spots, making this team, do you feel it growing every practice?
Oh, yeah, it's always there. And that's the thing is, we got, I don't know how many, 90 guys out here. I don't know exactly how many, but we're a 56-man roster now. I mean, everybody out here is trying to make a team, and, it really doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, it's the best 11 guys are going to get out on the field, so I don't really think anybody is safe at any position. I mean, Kels might be, Lane. They're kind of given, but it's every day people are competing, trying to get better, and move up in the depth chart, and it's great to see because I'm competing with guys that are trying to take my job, but still going to meetings, trying to help these guys get better and develop, and it's really what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, if I start or play or don't, it's all about putting the best guys out there and the guys that are going to win the game.
So you actually don't view yourself?
You feel like you're fighting for a starting position even though you've been the starter the past 2 seasons?
You always have to. There's nothing set in stone out here. There's a couple guys, obviously, like I mentioned, that are, but, honestly, every practice, every day you're getting evaluated, the way you come in the building, the way you carry yourself, the way you practice, lift weights, walk through. Everything's an evaluation on, who's going to be the best guys to put out there. And, at the end of the day, the best guys should be on the field. That's just how it is.
So I feel like, in your first 2 years, you never really kind of like praised yourself, for a lack of better words. You always were, critical of yourself and feel like you had to do better. Last year you made the Pro Bowl. Do you feel like you've arrived or not really?
We lost the Super Bowl. I could, not to sound not grateful about it, I really care less about a Pro Bowl. Super Bowl means more than anything, and that's just how it is. If you want to sit around and guys get complacent, you think you're the best reporter out there? No. Exactly. Any of you guys think you're the best out there? If you do, props to you. But at the same time, like once you sit down and get complacent, it's not a good place to be. You always have things you can work on and get better at, and that's exactly where I am. Extremely young player. I still have a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to get better at.
So how much of that is the room itself, though? The standard that guys like Kelsey, Lane, Jordan set that no one's ever satisfied.
Well, that's how it is every meeting. You said that Kelsey and Lane have been doing this thing for a long time, and they're sitting in there trying to figure out how to do things better, how to work, change this to, block this pressure, block this look, or do this, that, or the other to make things better. And just seeing that, after over a decade of them doing it, they're still sitting there saying that's not good enough. That's not going to get, not going to get us this, that, or win this game. It's really how it should be all the time. It's not. what we did last year means nothing. You know, every season has a 1-year expiration. I mean, just because we got to the Super Bowl last year doesn't mean anything for this year. So that's all it's about, is just trying to get better every day.
How vocal are you in that room?
I mean, it kind of depends. If I see something that, you know, if we're watching film of the younger guys out here doing something, and I see something that, especially like I messed up in the past, or I see something that a guy may be like, you know, kind of going down the wrong way, and you know, before he gets hit by the bus, I'm like, hey, let's get back on the sidewalk. So, I mean, it's like you want to help guys. Like, you know, I've learned stuff the hard way, and if I can keep guys from doing that, then that's good. And the best part is I can tell them, hey, you're doing this right now. If you want to see how it goes for you, go watch this game from last season, 2 seasons ago, and that's what's going to happen to you. So, you know, being in there, being able to help those young guys, and you know, just talk through things. That's really what it's about. Like I said before, just trying to develop guys and, you know, make everybody better and get the best 5 for the offensive line on the field.
Are you more vocal than last year?
I would say so. I mean, you know, last year obviously we still had Isaac, and you know, I mean, to you guys probably not. Isaac, I mean, he's missed around here. He was extremely intellectual, very good player, had a lot of knowledge to give to people, and you know, losing something like that, and a guy that knows the game really well and has a lot of stuff to teach guys, can be tough. And you know, as you get more into your career, you end up kind of transitioning to that, and I think it's kind of where we're going. I still have a ton of stuff to learn, and yeah, that's why I still talk to Lane and Kels and other guys, and even like when, you know, Brooks comes back to practice, and you know, even talking to guys like joint practices after games, like it's all just trying to figure out like what I can change. You know, I learn from them, they learn from me. It's all about just trying to develop.
Piggybacking off of that, I noticed yesterday during one-on-ones, you pulled Tyler aside and kind of gave him a couple pointers. Like, I guess, like, what are the ways you can help him? What's your relationship like, you know, with him so far?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, yeah, I understand he's a guard, and yeah, he's got the opportunity to come and take my position. But at the same time, if like I'm seeing stuff where he's getting beat or anything that I can help him out with, I mean, at the end of the day, we're teammates. Like, and that's what it's about, is like, if I can help him, you know, solidify or refine something that I see is like, you know, getting him beat or not letting him have the, you know, cleanest rep. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And, you know, if he sees something with me, like, that's the thing, is just because I have, you know, 2 more seasons on him doesn't mean anything that I can't, you know, he may say something that I can learn from. So that's, I mean, it's really just kind of open discussion all the time, and seeing what his thought process is when he sees stuff, what mine is, and you just talk through it.
So at this point of training camp, do you see competition heating up? You know, it's the inevitable that cuts are coming, guys are competing for starting jobs. Do you feel that growing, or was it there since day one?
I think it's always been here. It's kind of part of Nick's deal. It's always competing, whether it's 53 guys already or whether it's 90. So you get that feeling in OTAs, but when the pads are on, I think it kind of heats up a little bit, and it's fun to watch. A lot of good players out here.
Right, and you're at lunch with these guys, you know, and the offensive line was just talking about it. You know, we're talking to guys that could possibly be taking our jobs. That's such a unique thing that I think people outside of football don't understand. How do you go about that stuff day to day?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it happens every year. So you unfortunately get a little bit used to it. But all these guys are competing for jobs, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else, whether it's a P squad spot, whether you know, you're just coming out here to compete. So Jalen's out here competing. I'm out here competing, whether you're in a different situation or not. Everyone's out here trying to get better, and I think it breeds success.
Jake, what's it been like incorporating Ty in the mix with, you know, whether it be the holding, obviously the kicking, the punting? What's it been like having him here?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been smooth. I think we're getting the best out of Aaron because of it. Ty's coming out here and competing. Both great punters. He's getting better holding every day. So both those guys are doing a great job, and it's been fun to watch him grow as a young guy, and it's been fun to watch Aaron compete and grow.
Jake, do you expect an uptick in squib kicks this year around the league and here with the new kickoff rules?
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out yet. We'll see if guys want to show their hand in the preseason at all, but it's going to be a little bit different. I don't know how much it's going to change. It's just going to kind of have to play out for us to see.
How's your camp going, man? They're throwing a lot at you. You look up and you're out there playing slot and everything?
It's going good. I mean, just learning from Avante, all the other guys, just taking it one day at a time, trying to gain the trust of my teammates.
Do you like kind of having that positional versatility and being able to play outside, inside?
Oh yeah, I mean I love it. I mean wherever they need me to play, whatever help the team, I mean I'm gonna do it.
How big was last year just getting the experience of being here and being a part of things? And it's a different coordinator, but DK's still here and it's a similar scheme and everything.
I mean, you got all the older guys who lead, and they've done this multiple times. They've done this, you know, like Fletch, BG. I mean, just learning from them, also from the older guys in my room. So just getting that instilling of the Eagles' defensive culture, I mean, yeah, I mean, that meant a lot last year.
What's it like to have Bradbury, Slay, just to watch them every day, pick their brain, be in meetings with them, watching film with them and all that?
I mean, they totally two different players. So JB, he asking a lot of questions, so I'm asking a lot of questions to him. Slay, you know, very instinctive. So, I mean, I got the best of both worlds. And then you throw Avante in there, too, at nickel, so it just helps.
What do you think you do well that made him kind of take a look at you in the slot?
Oh, no, that's a question for you. I mean, I just try to come out here and do everything I can right, and then just try to produce.
You comfortable in there?
Oh, yeah.
Playing inside?
Yeah, I am.
How much have you done it, like, in school?
You talking about, like, at Clemson?
Yeah.
I played a little bit. I mean, they tried to let me at safety, nickel, but I ain't really playing the game for real. Just mainly learning.
All right, what's it been like working with DK, man?
I love it. I mean, you know, he got different drills, reactionary drills and stuff like that. He bring the energy every day, and he gonna make sure he get the best out of us.
Hey Mario, you have a nickels-only coach, you guys. That's kind of rare. What's it been like? How does that help?
It's very helpful. I mean, because when we're in team meeting, it's mainly, you know, we just talking about the safeties in the corner, so having him as an extra piece to just go to. He communicate with our defensive coordinator. He communicate with DK on what we need or other things that he think we should do. So that's very helpful.
Have you been able to get to know Sidney Brown at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, we both got the same agent, so I mean, he cool, kind of quiet, hard worker, but come to work every day to do his job.
Well, how would you describe his game to somebody who's not super familiar with?
All out. I say all out.
Okay.
There's so much competition here, like not just in the secondary, but linebacker. How healthy do you think that environment is for the whole team?
You said how healthy do I think it is?
Yeah.
I mean, coming from Clemson and, you know, big schools like that, you got to go against guys that, you know, the best of the best every day. So having the same type of culture here is very helpful. So when we go out and play against other teams, you know, I mean, we got some of the best, so learning to just put our best foot forward every day here, and then we can go compete with anybody.
What are you finding about the running back room? Like in general, they brought in DeAndre and Rashad, and you know Boston, Kenny, and yourself are back and everything. But how competitive is that room?
It's very competitive. I mean, we all bring something a little different to the table. I mean, we're all great athletes, and you know we're really pushing each other. And I do my best to take a little bit from each of them. And you know, like I said, we're all great athletes, and we're all out there competing.
What do you think you bring to the table that's different from the other guys?
I just feel like my combination of size, speed, power, balance, and I can catch very well. I feel like it's a little different. I mean, mainly just because of my size, but that's pretty much it.
How hard was last year, kind of redshirting, other than 8 reps? How challenging was it for you to just sit and watch?
It was pretty tough. You know, just coming here the first week. But I just did my best to continue to learn the offense throughout the year, and I feel like it really prepared me for this moment. I mean, I'm comfortable in the system now. Now I can go out there and play fast.
So is this camp, and I guess the spring too, the first chance you really had to show yourself because last year you were acclimated?
For sure. I mean, last year, just with me just getting acclimated in the system, I was still able to go out there, work hard, and really show them, what I can do. But now, you know, we're in camo, so I have more of an opportunity to do that.
It was mostly scout team, I assume, throughout the year, right? So is this your first time getting work top the depth chart?
Yes.
So you get in one game, you get 2 carries for 19 yards. You're thinking, I earned some playing time here. And then I think he got a couple of snaps against Jacksonville, and that was it. The last 3 months of the year. Was it frustrating? Did you kind of think maybe you had earned some more playing time?
No doubt it was frustrating, but I knew the situation. Me coming in, I just know I just had to keep grinding and continue to work hard every single day. And whenever the opportunity presents itself, I knew I'd be ready. But I didn't get an opportunity last year besides the Jacksonville game, but it didn't really change a thing. My work ethic stayed the same, and I just continued to grind throughout the year.
There's a lot of curiosity on the outside about how it's all going to shake out and what the reps are going to look like. I can only imagine if you're one of those people that's gunning for it, what it's like. So, how is that dynamic for you as you getting a feel for maybe how it can look at this point?
We're all rotating through, and like I said, we're going out there competing, and I try not to worry too much about it. I just know whenever the opportunities presents itself, when I'm out there, I try to take full advantage of it.
What perspective do you have about the NFL that you might not have had at this time last year in San Francisco?
I'd probably say that at the end of the day, it is a business. But it's football. You got to go out there. You got to compete every single day. You can't take no days off. Just because you can't be replaced like that. It's a lot of good athletes out there on this team for sure. So that's what I learned.
Especially running back. You've seen what's happened with the salaries and that. What's kind of your feeling about that?
Undervalued or yeah. I definitely feel like running backs bring a lot to the table. With pass blocking, catching, running the ball. We do a lot. So I do feel like, we are a bit undervalued, but at the same time, it's like I'm not really too focused on that because I'm just focused in the moment, and I'm just focused on, getting my opportunity and taking advantage of it.
Nick said you were the guy who they kind of hit the table when they weren't able to draft you. Going into the draft, did you think Philly was a strong possibility for you?
I definitely thought it was a possibility. Just because of my playing history with Jalen that 1 year, and I knew it was a similar system to Oklahoma, so I knew it was a possibility.
What did it tell you when they kept you on the 53 all year, even though you weren't playing? It must have said something to you about how they felt about you.
Yeah, it definitely stood out that they wanted me to be here, and that's why I just continue to just keep my head down and keep grinding, because I know, like I said, they wanted me to be here, so I just got to do my part and just continue to work hard.
It's kind of like a weird situation, because you're a running back. Obviously your shelf life isn't that long, but you haven't had that much of a workload, so you kind of see it as a good thing going into this season that you're still relatively fresh.
Yeah, I definitely kind of see it as a good thing. Although the past couple of years, of course, I want to be out there. I'm a competitor, but at the same time, I haven't had that many carries. So I know that I can play in this league for quite some time, just because of how the situation played itself out.
Yeah, so you kind of see yourself when you do get that chance, you're starting pretty much from scratch, as opposed to maybe someone who's been carrying the ball a lot over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And like I said, I feel fresh. My body feels good. So, like I said, I know I can play and have a long stretch.
What's Nick's messaging been to you? He's been very complimentary of you when talking to us. What's his message behind the scenes for you?
Just keep going out there and competing. Continue to pay attention to the small details, and that's really it. We're in pass now, so just the physical part of the game is something that they would want to see out of me, because just last year throughout the season we weren't really in pass that much. So just being able to show them that's kind of just been the main message from him.
Were you starting to wonder where you fit in when they started bringing all these running backs in back in the spring?
Yeah, of course. New guys coming in, and that was just kind of a question of where I stand. But like I said, they kept me active on the 53 all year, so I knew they wanted me to be here. So I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I knew I just had to go out there and compete. I had to earn a job.
What's part of the game that you feel that people overlook or you think you're undervalued in?
I'd probably have to say my pass catching ability. I mean, I feel like I run pretty good routes and I can catch the ball very well.
And when you look at how much you guys are throwing the ball to tonight, therefore, how much has Ryan Johnson and the rest of the offensive staff put an emphasis on inside the coaching room, inside the running back room?
A lot, actually. I know a lot of times, like they make the running back stand there when they're talking to the receivers just because it's a part of this offense, and we have to be able to go out there and execute it as well. So we learn a lot from the receivers just by sitting in the room and just listening, picking up on small notes and stuff.
What's your scouting report on Swift and Petty?
Swift, he's a great athlete. I mean, he runs routes exceptionally well. He can catch the ball well, and Penny can too. But I mean, he's still explosive. He's still very fast, and they're both great runners.
Thank you more for Trey.
Did you do a lot of receiving when you were in college, either at Oklahoma or Ohio State?
More at Oklahoma. Coach Riley, he had us moving out to receiver quite a bit, so it wasn't anything new to me. So, I mean, I was kind of used to it, and during the offseason every year I trained with a couple of receivers running routes and stuff, so just to stay comfortable with it.